You'll hear the music from the launches going by. I don't know if that's the music of a club or a bar or something up at the start. Normally it's quite sort of silent there, isn't it?
I can't hear that, Martin, so either you're hallucinating it or you've just got much better hearing than me.
We'll go for the latter. And Matthew Pinson gives the go. 3, I guess, half-slide strokes for the women from Newport Aquatic Center. A little bit longer for the first 3 strokes from the Scullers School. Different starting techniques. Which do you prefer, Zoe?
Well, I don't know, usually I'd say slightly longer strokes, but Newport absolutely shot out the start there. They look like they put their bows out ahead within a couple of strokes there on Tideway Scullers.
Yeah, look across from Edie Dransfield, the 17-year-old, just to check where her crew are.
Oh, I was completely wrong. I take it all back.
Oh, it doesn't often happen. So, Newport Aquatic Center, they row on Newport Beach. It's just down from Disneyland, of course, the place where dreams are made. And Newport Aquatic Center will be hoping that they live up to their dreams, which, first of all, have been coming to Henley Regatta. They've been so excited about that all through this season. But, of course, I think one of the things that these women will have been dreaming about is winning a race at Henley and beating their opposition from Tideway Scullers. They look calm, cool and relaxed at the moment. Scullers slightly moving, but Newport still in contact.
I've got to say, I wasn't expecting this. Newport were semi-finalists last year in this event. And actually, I think, personally, that they were the crew that pushed Headington, the winners, the hardest last year. And the winner of this race now, Scullers versus Newport, is going to face Headington tomorrow. So I was kind of expecting a showdown of that semi-final last year. And I was really expecting them to get out there and dominate this Scullers crew. So I don't know how we're going to see this race play out. Did Scullers just throw everything at it early and Newport kind of biding their time for the middle of the race?
Well, that's a great shout. I think Scullers did throw everything at it early. And I think probably their coach, Luca Nicolau from St Paul's Boat Club, former rower from St Paul's, will have told them to do that, to rattle Newport. Personally, I see Newport coming back into this race at the halfway point, and Scullers are going to have to do quite a lot to hold them off. I think we've got a real contest in prospect here, Zoe.
But that's ultimately how you race one-on-one racing, isn't it, Martin? If you know that on paper you're the weaker crew, you've got to go out there and try and rattle your opposition early, and actually sometimes that can turn the whole race around.
Yeah, well, this Scullers crew, you can see them here, described by their coach, and I love this description, as fearless, driven, and improving every session. They'll have to improve during this race if they are going to keep their bows in front of the women from Newport. You can see Scullers have got a lead, but every inch Newport are just moving through them, Zoe.
Fearless, such a great description, such a great word to describe how Scullers started this race. They just fully put themselves out there, and now as you go through the middle, you know, hopefully their cox is saying to them, right, this is it, you've done it, you've put in such a great start, you've got to hold your hand in the fire and just win out this war of attrition and just trust and believe in what the crew's done. But really, really difficult when you've got a crew charging you down.
The thing I would say about Scullers, and if you're just joining us, welcome to this presentation, day 2 of Henley Royal Regatta. This is a heat of the Prince Philip Challenge Trophy for junior girls 8s. Tideway Scullers on the right, led off. Newport have come back. It is Newport on the left of your picture who are leading, but to say for Scullers as they go through the Canadian geese there, hopefully without hitting any of them, there is a tailwind, and I think that will give them heart, because if it was a headwind, I'd say, right, I'd pretty much say Newport Beach done and dusted, but Scullers are still there, and the Americans, I think they've rode a fantastic sort of, let's call that from 500 metres to, what, 1250, Zoe?
Yeah, and that's actually very similar to the way that the US women's 8 rode when they were really dominant. They didn't do too much in the early part, but then their speed never dropped. So everyone else might go out really fast, but then their speed would fall in the middle of the race. The US women would just hold it, and then ramp up into the end. And actually, Newport have kind of laid out their race, whether that was by design or not, in a very similar way.
So you can see how close it is. It's not done and dusted yet. We still have about 600-700 metres to go in this race. A lot going to be asked of Sydney Chait Walker, the 18-year-old stroke of Newport Beach. She's led her crew so well, the woman whose blade is on the starboard side of the boat. She calls herself a surfer as one of her leisure pursuits. And Newport Beach have stuck there, haven't they? Now, Scullers, have they got what it takes? There's decent cover between one set of puddles and the other. And Edie Dransfield, Tamina Bleckrak and Lottie Everett and the powerful five-woman Charlotte van der Wiel. Well, a lot resting on their shoulders now, Zoe.
I think Scullers are rowing really well, but I would say Newport have a real sort of ferocity to the way they drive their legs and, you know, really pull that blade through the water, which is just a little bit what Scullers slightly lack. You can see it there, the way they just really push when their oar is in the water.
Yeah, we've cyclist Sydney there with the white cap on. You could see Allegra Steege, the 18-year-old, Chloe Lopez, Eden Smith, Maeve Proud, Gabriella Batola, Klana Banter and Bridget Knapp, and of course the coxswain, the driver, Grace Gallipau, the 17-year-old. And it is now quite a significant move that these women have made. Tideway Scullers have thrown everything at their opponents in the second half of this course, trying to get back. You can see the look on their faces, Zoe.
They're going to keep attacking, you can tell that, and you know they're clearly a really driven crew. But I think this Newport crew certainly just has that little bit of extra power, that little bit of extra attack here, and have left themselves with some energy to go through the second part of the race.
Coming up to the finish swiftly now because of that tailwind that is blowing down the course today. Scullers are closing on Newport Beach. Credit to the Chiswick-based club. This is going to be a really, really close race, but Newport will prevail in the end. You can just see how well they're rowing. Just still little time forward as they come up to the finish line. They'll hear the buzzer first. Scullers had the overlap, and well, I would have thought that Scullers will be really pleased with that, bar the verdict. They lost to Newport Aquatic Center, but it was a tremendous performance from the Scullers.